bring on today's guest. So Scriptation, if you do not have this app, I have to tell you, I literally bought an iPad for this app like 2 years ago because it's so good. I read all my scripts on this app. I write notes directly on there to give notes back. I put sticky notes, and when you build sticky notes in, you can make a PDF and the sticky note stays, photos in it, voice memos in it. It's endless. It is endless. If you're an actor, it has one click to highlight all of your actor lines. It's just here, I'm just going to bring on Rico because he's a lot more articulate than I am. And hopefully, Rico, no pressure. Hey.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank God you're talking this hour and not me because I'm a bit of a mess. But I would say, let's get started. How do you want to kick this off?
Well, sure. I am calling in to this radio show from New York City, and I'm really excited to just be demoing you guys this app today. Basically, let's start at the very beginning. This app set out to solve a problem that is near and dear to all of our hearts: TV, film, theater, across all entertainment industries. You get a script, you write all your notes in it, and then you get a new script. And there you are sitting on top of a road box or in front of a music stand or wherever you have 2 seconds to scribble the same notes over and over and over again. And you do this every single time you get a revision. So a few years ago, a guy named Steve Atola, who was a writer's assistant, script coordinator type, invented this app. And it has really been taking over. So before I jump into showing you my iPad, John, let's first roll that first video to give everybody a little starting ground for where we're jumping in
from. So you're working on a TV show, or an indie feature, or a big budget feature. Think about how much time you spend dealing with scripts. Reading them, breaking them down, marking them up. And just when you think you have a handle on everything, a new script revision gets dropped on your lap. This happens a lot. You get a revision, you have to figure out what's changed, and you recopy the same notes over and over and over again. So we thought, what if an app could do all that for you? Meet Scriptation. Here's how it works. You open a script and you start making notes. You can highlight, underline, type, draw. You get the idea. And when the revised script comes out, you can import all your notes into the new draft. Scriptation will even tell you if something's been changed or deleted. So what are you waiting for? Get Scriptation, now available in the App Store.
I love this software so much. I love this app. I love it.
So if anybody who is on here has not already downloaded this on your iPad, on your Mac, MacBook, or phone even, now's the time, because what I'm going to be demoing, you can play along with. So I'm playing on a 7th generation iPad. It is not the newest or the fanciest, but it does the job. And when I go into the app, John, would you mind sharing my iPad screen? Thank you. When I open the app, the first thing I see is all of my recent files. And as you can see here, we have PDFs of table drafts and shooting drafts and revisions and different set plans and even music if you were so inclined. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the file browser here, and I'm going to open up a table draft. And this is a script that I did a little bit of marking up on already just to save us a little time here. But to show you all of the different annotation tools, we have this annotate toolbar here up at the top. And there's a variety of different tools that come with the app. So obviously you have sort of simple tools like text to highlight. Your text from your PDF document, let's say you've exported a PDF from Final Draft or Movie Magic or whatever program that you do your screenwriting in, or a script gets distributed to you. You import the script, and what Scriptation is able to do, I'm going to make a little squiggle line here, is intelligently read the text on your script. We also have the ability to do text boxes, and this is actually one of my favorite things about the app, using Scribble with your Apple Pencil, and it will automatically convert your handwriting to text. Jen mentioned earlier about the sticky notes. One of the cool things about this is that you can basically come up with your own system. So you could perhaps know that all of your green arrows mean Steadicam notes, and then put those wherever you would like them to go. It's a totally customizable feature set that can easily be changed. I'll go to a new page here. We can do little diagrams using the pen and marker tools, arrows, shapes, lines, and rectangles. And one of the most useful things I actually find is the ability to add in images. So we can put in a set plan just like this, move it around. And if you wanted to take notes on it, you certainly could. A lot of people really love this custom stamp feature. So I know like a lot of people will sometimes use this for different types of notes. And then what you're able to do is using a feature called saved annotations. Tap the save button, and you now have under this clipboard all of your different custom stamps. So let's say you worked in live and you really liked this multi-view. You could have this multi-view available to you to be added on any file that you want. So it allows you to create sort of a custom library of different tools. Now, okay, great. I've probably shown you a bunch of stuff you've seen in other apps before. Here's where it gets interesting. Layers. So all of these notes are in the directing notes layer. Now, I also have a production notes layer. And by toggling into this layer, you see an entirely different set of notes. And if I was to enable directing notes, I'm able to see multiple layers of notes at the same time. Let's say I wanted to show all. I now can see an infinite number of layers stacked on top of each other. And each of these layers can be transferred and shared totally individually so that you're able to view only the notes that are the most important to you at any given time. One of the great things about layers in particular is the collaborative elements about them. So if I had a friend who we were using Scriptation on the same project together, if I was to export just this layer, I could share via a variety of methods and they can import into their script. And that allows you to, instead of juggling 7 different PDFs with one person's revisions and somebody else's feedback, you're able to compile it all into layers. And creating a new layer is just as simple as typing new layer. And you're able to work on that in your workflow. One of the really useful things about Scriptation is all the way on the right side. It's called the PageMaker. And before we dive into the PageMaker, John, do you want to run video 2?
My name is Valerie Weiss, and I'm a feature and television director. I've directed shows like Scandal, Outer Banks, Why Women Kill, and The Resident, and this is my Scriptation. For an episode of The Rookie that I directed, spoiler alert, a major character dies in this episode, I had a very complicated action sequence that happened underwater and all around a pool. And so in addition to my location photo and my storyboards that I have on my facing page, I wanted to bring in a floor plan so I could mark up the actor blocking and camera position so that everybody could know very quickly what my vision was for shooting the scene. Okay, in addition to the normal notes that I take in the script, I also love using facing pages to visually describe what I'm planning to do in a scene. So I have my location photo, my storyboards, and what I'm gonna do is bring in my floor plan. So I make room for it over here, and I go into photos, into photo library, and then boom, I get right to my floor plan in my folder. I make it big enough to write on, and then I go ahead and I select my pen, and I can start writing in my actors, and my camera positions, and the blocking of my actors, and start to describe the sequence in a way that everybody on set can understand it very quickly. It's insane to think that our industry still prints millions of sheets of paper when it is so easy to go paperless. And not only is it easy, but it makes us so much more effective as directors.
I
Awesome.
love that so much. And what's funny is we have two directors who are watching right now, Soma and Kate, that I know pretty well and their work styles. And they're Ravenclaws. If you're familiar with Harry Potter, you know how those Ravenclaws are. And Soma, I know, uses this already. And Kate's comment is literally, why have I not used this before? They're dying.
They haven't even seen Note Transfer yet. Oh, just wait. We're getting there.
So everybody who's watching, if you've just joined or if you have been watching, if there's questions that come up along the way, ask them in the comment section and we'll totally answer them. You don't have to wait because he's going to go through a lot of stuff. And if there's something that really piqued your interest and you got lost in it, let us know.
Cool.
And Robin has a quick question before we move on. She wants to know, do your collaborators need Scriptation in order for me to share it with them?
That's an excellent question. So what you're able to do, what I showed you before, if I wanted to only export a particular layer of notes, so that's not the PDF, that's simply your annotations that are going to go over to somebody else's script. Yes, you both need to be using Scriptation. But if I was to tap the share button here on the top toolbar, and I was to just share, that is the entire script. So that anyone in any PDF program would be able to open your PDF. However, layers are something that only exist in Scriptation. So if you open a Scriptation file in, like, let's just say Adobe Preview, you're just going to see a zillion notes stacked on top of each other. So it is sort of highly recommended that when you share a file, tell your friend to download Scriptation. It's just going to be a significantly better experience for both parties. And again, it's a free download. So jumping back to what Valerie Weiss's video was about, is all about the page maker. So the top right icon on that top toolbar, the 4 squares, allows you to look at your script from sort of a bird's eye view. And by editing, you're able to add a variety of pages. So let's say I was to not add a cat picture, but if I was to add this set plan, I now have these pages that I'm able to just tap and drag to move around my script as I would like. You can also add a million different templates and colors all to your heart's content. And the facing pages feature, actually, no matter how long your script is, will add a blank page before every page. So that as you're taking notes, you always have a page there. But I'm just going to add those 3 for now. Now, here is really the magic of Scriptation. So you can see we have this table draft. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my email, this here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to import the new draft of the script that I just got. And again, Scriptation takes any PDF. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert it into my local folder. Now, I have my table draft with all of my notes open, and this shooting draft that has absolutely no annotations in it. So by going transfer on the top toolbar from the new script, I'm going to go to my Blackmagic demo folder. I'm going to select my table draft. What this screen now tells us is that we're going to transfer annotations from the table draft to the shooting draft. And there's a variety of sort of pro transfer options that are capable here, but we don't have to worry about any of them right this second. You saw earlier that I had all these layers of notes. There was the directing notes, production notes. I'm going to select all to transfer all of the notes. And what we're going to see here is the transfer is going to happen. And this is what has happened. 54 annotations have moved. 0 have changed, and 2 have been deleted. So what a deleted annotation is when you have made a marking on a piece of dialogue and that entire dialogue from beginning to end is cut. Most of the time, this is about lines that you've struck through that are then not there in the new draft, which in this case is both of these. So if I was to go to page 5 of the PDF and compare page 5 of the table draft, what you will see is that this annotation on 127 hours and this annotation on yeah, of course, are not there because that dialogue is entirely gone. Now, again, when you transfer notes, nothing is ever deleted from the old draft. So transfer sounds like a scary word, but in your head, think of it as copy and transfer, because you can always go back to your old draft to retrieve notes. And if your script truly changed to the point of perhaps it's not even recognizable anymore, you can always copy and paste notes and shift things between. So here in my shooting draft, what you will see is all of my layers have now been copied and transferred over, so that I can view all of my notes on the new script, just as I was before. Now here I'm going to show you guys, now that we're in this shooting draft, I'm going to use iPad that's over here, and I'm going to share a layer, since that was something that was of interest to an earlier question. What I'm going to do on this iPad is I'm going to go and I'm going to tap a layer, and I'm going to go export. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to airdrop it to myself. And here on the other iPad, we can make that big again, thank you. It says, oh, you're importing a layer. It looks to me, says the app, that it wants to go in the shooting draft. Well, you're right, it does. So in it goes, and here at the bottom of my layers list is your colleagues layer. And what it has is this note that said rewrite is coming. And when I look at all of my notes together, I can see my colleagues' notes, I can see my notes, I could hide my colleagues' notes, I could hide all the notes. It really gives you maximum flexibility. Let's hide all that. Maximum flexibility to view your script in whatever way is the most helpful at any given time.
One of the things I tend to use, I tend to, like if I'm reading someone's script in development, I'm writing notes literally on the script with arrows and thoughts and all that. And then they get that. And then when they send me the new draft, I love that it just puts all of my notes back on so that I can see what changes they did make or didn't make. It's awesome.
Absolutely. Let me show you a couple of other cool tools about Scriptation. Oh, in case you were wondering whatever happened to those ground plans that I put in, they're there too. So what the algorithm does, let me view this with some actual notes here. What the algorithm does is that it intelligently transfers not only your annotations, but any of your added pages, such as these step plans that are put in. So everything has found its way into the new draft. A few other features that are really worth mentioning. Let's go to a page here, and I'm going to hide all of these notes, is the actor highlight feature. So what actor highlighting does is it allows you to simply toggle on a character name. Oopsie, let's go back to the shooting draft, hang on. It allows you to toggle on a character name, and it automatically selects that character's text. And as soon as you import a script into Scriptation, what it does is it recognizes character names and dialogue. And you can view these notes in and around all of your other notes as well. So here on this very first page, if I was to highlight Daniela, you can see all the Daniela stuff. And if I was to toggle into a layer with less notes, we will only see the actor highlighting. Reader mode is really cool because it allows your script to automatically be transformed into a view that's more optimized for reading. So let's say that you were, and this is particularly cool on your phone, you can, if you click on the A up top, make it as large or as small as you want with different fonts. This open dyslexic font is amazing and super easy to read. We also have an auto scroll feature. So let's say, I'm going to untoggle some of these here. Let's say that we were doing a table read and I was playing the part of Daniela. I can scroll through the entire script and adjust the speed and really never have to turn pages again. What Scriptation does here is reads industry standard formatting and uses that to be able to sort of make intelligent choices about what needs to be done. A few other cool features here. We talked about share, that allows you to share your script with others. Search, you can search your annotations. Let's say you have a whole bunch of if you use the custom stamp feature for any time that you wanted to, say, use a crane, you can search crane and it will tell you every time a particular word exists. And the bookmarks feature is really cool because it allows you to create customized bookmarks and give them different names. People use that for like a really easy table of contents. So that's sort of the nuts and bolts of Scriptation. I see some, I love this, cool.
I'm less like, you did all of that in such a short time that I don't think anybody even really understands how much their life is going to improve. Their set life is going to improve with this. I think Soma told the story, and Soma, sorry if I'm butchering your story, but she, she has her big regular production Bible with the binder that's fat. But that could get lost here or there. But if you have Scriptation, you have your iPad always with you. So if you can't find your book, everything is right there. So I think that directors are really incorporating this, as you saw even in the video, your TV director.
Yes,
nice.
Let me show you a little bit about sort of how files are stored. So let's go back to my iPad for a second. So your files will always be with you when they are in the cloud. So the demo files that I was just using were on my iPad, but I have a million files in Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, and iCloud. So what I'm doing on my iPad will sync to my phone, will sync to my Mac, and whatever is the device that is most useful to me at the time is the one that I am using. So you can start making files and start adding pages and if you do your prep from home on your computer, and then when you're on set, you use your iPad. Scriptation is designed to work between all of those devices.
Very awesome. Does anybody have questions that, as you've watched this, that have come up, things you're not sure about, things that maybe you hope Scriptation does and you want to ask to see if it does it, because it probably does. We're really grateful that you came to do this. And Scriptation has given all of our initiatives, our fellows, a free month to try out Pro. So I'm excited to finally try Pro.
Yes, yeah. A lot of what I showed you today is Pro. Particularly like the saved annotation, I'll tell you exactly what the Pro features are versus the not. The cloud, being able to have cloud sync is a Pro feature. Being able to have the more enhanced transfer, which I'm going to show you another example of in a second, is a Pro feature. The saved annotations and the adding of the facing pages. Those are sort of the stuff that I showed you today, the real Pro features. We also have an academic discount. If you go to scriptation.com/education, you can get 25% off the annual subscription there. I see some questions.
Yeah, they're coming in. Let's start with
That's amazing.
Who will there be a version of Scriptation in the future that'll be compatible with Android? Is that in the works?
It is in discussion. It is not going to happen this year for sure. As a lot of apps sort of come out on the market, it's difficult to be incredibly good at a lot of things. And we are really focused right now on the Apple ecosystem to be able to really put all of our development efforts in that. But yes, we do hope to one day get an Android version out.
Caitlin, I'm an Android user too, but I bought the iPad. That's how much I wanted to use this. Natalie, when sharing notes with collaborators, are these views only, or are they able to edit the original?
If you here, let me go back to, let me share myself. The answer is you can edit the original. But once you get a layer imported into your file, you can futz, you can change, you can transfer, you can do anything you want. That layer is essentially yours.
Juliet's wondering about, will it read the script to you, and or can you speak to text?
You absolutely can speak to text. On any devices, it is fully compatible with Siri. Will it read the script back to you? There is a speak if you pop my iPad back on the screen for a second. It's actually an iOS function. It's not a Scriptation function, but if you highlight text and say speak, it will speak. But there isn't a button within reader mode that says like read me the whole script. But it absolutely is fully compatible with Siri/Dictate, and you can have it read to you.
Soma, the one I said who's always using it on set and is a super
Yep.
preparer, is there a plan in the future to transfer bookmarks also from draft to draft?
That is currently already a thing. It previously was not, which is maybe where Soma thought that it wasn't. But if you open up I will show you here in the shooting draft, and if you go transfer and I select my table draft, we now have this transfer bookmarks toggle, which is a pro feature, but it will allow all of your custom bookmark titles and placement. They will intelligently transfer over to the new draft as well. So that is currently possible.
Cool, cool. Susan, can you please show how you add facing pages again?
Happily. So you're going to go up to, on the top right of your toolbar, there's the 4 squares. And by tapping edit, you have 2 options. Tapping the facing button and then tapping yes is going to add a blank page before every page. However, if you tap add, let's say I wanted a lined paper that was a yellow, super obnoxious there. Add, and now I have these 2 yellow pages, which I can tap and drag wherever I would like them to go. Tap save at the top, and then you're back in your script.
We kind of touched base on this, but we can do the quick version. Tracy says,
Yeah.
what is the difference between the free version and the pro version? What are the
Sure.
big difference?
So the big difference is anybody can download the free version right now. And what the pro version is an upgrade. It's the same app. So basically it unlocks additional features. And what those features are cloud sync. Oh, you know what? Here, actually, I'm going to go to a little website. Please hold. So I'm going to show you while I'm on here. We have a Scriptation help desk. So if you're a user of the app and you ever have a question, the easiest place to go is to our help desk. And you might ask yourself, what is Industry Pro? And I'm not going to play you this video right now, but it is these features here are what the pro features are. So we have Cloud Sync, which I showed you, the Pro Note Transfer, which allows you to transfer more than 1 layer at a time. If you're a free user, you can transfer your layers. You just have to do them 1 at a time. Collate pages, I'm going to show you in just a second. And I can also show you compare scripts. Bookmark transfer we just talked about. The page maker is about adding the facing pages. Sides creator, which I'll show you in a second. Layers, being able to show hide, and the export that allows you to share with a collaborator. Anyone can import a layer. You do not have to be a paid user to import a layer, but to export one of your own, that's pro feature. The reader mode, scroll and highlighting within reader mode, and the saved annotations. Let me go back to the app and show you some of the pro transfer stuff. So first I will show you, sometimes we just get new pages and not a entirely collated script. And when that happens, what we're going to do here, so first I'm going to do the transfer to my shooting draft, and then we'll do it into the blue pages. So for those of you who needed a little refresher on what we did before, I'm going to do this transfer into the shooting draft. Cool. So now I have all my layers in this shooting draft that's right here. Now, from my blue pages, I'm going to transfer from this shooting draft. And I'm going to tap the collate button, because what the collate button does is it's telling the app, I'm not working with a full script right now. I'm only working with these specific pages. And what I need you to do is collate the new pages into the script, replace the old ones, and transfer my notes all at the same time. So I'm going to select all of my layers. It creates an entirely new file. I'll save to the demo folder. And what you see happen here, easiest to show from here, is that the blue pages have automatically been integrated where they need to be done. So we have our ground plan. We have page 1 is new, page 2 is not, page 3 is new, 4 is new, and then we're back on track. So you can even see in the layers, I'll do show all here. be best if I go to there. You're able to see that all of your notes have transferred across. Now, you might see this little yellow post-it. That is called a changed alert. So if you click on an annotation, it tells you what the highlighted text was. So if you have something that changes, which means that in between the beginning and the end, something about the dialogue is slightly different than it was before, and you had it highlighted or struck through or whatever, what this box does is it tells you what the change was. The deleted annotations are what is popped up in the, I'll go back to here. When there are deletions, you get this new icon at the top that says that's where your deleted annotations are. So that's
is that only in the pro? Is that only in the pro version? The deleted annotations.
Deleted or free? Yeah, that is a free feature. Deleted and changed are free.
Anybody who's watching right now who has used this program, it'd be great for you to put comments in the box about what your favorite things are, some things that maybe or you do that we haven't even talked about, because I love learning what other filmmakers are doing. Susan has a quick question. She says, can you delete facing pages all at once, or do you need to do it one at a time?
Great question. At the moment, it is a one at a time thing. So you just go select, tap, 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 remove, and you're back on track. Yeah, I could see how if you had 300 of them, it would get a little annoying. But at the moment, it's just one at a time.
Are you finding are you finding that that any of the TV shows are actually getting paperless yet? Are we still it's still an uphill battle to get them to do this?
It's not an uphill battle as much anymore. There's particularly through COVID and through, I mean, frankly, the industry paper that said that the world needs to be going digital on scripts and sides and production documents. That was really a turning point where people are, who may have been resistant previously are like, okay, we have to do this now.
That's good to hear. Yeah. I mean, there are some benefits that came out of us all being trapped in our houses all year. Yes. So Susan's question again, also, when I add facing pages, it's changed my page numbers. Is there a way to keep page numbers the same so when you're discussing the script with others, you don't basically tell them the wrong page?
So what I believe you're talking about, if you make my iPad hot again, is at the very bottom of the screen, it talks about the page numbers, and that's the PDF entirely. So what your script page number is, whatever your truth about that is, you should go off of the script page number, because at the bottom, this is about PDF page number. So anytime you add more if you were to add 30 facing pages, this thing at the bottom would not say 8 of 10, it would say 8 of 40. But yeah, always use script page numbers when talking about stuff, because again, a colleague could have an entirely different added page situation.
For sure, for sure. If there's any other final questions before we let Rico go, now is your chance to get them asked. One of my favorite things that I do at the program is when I'm sort of just starting to read scripts before we're really even in pre-production or more in development phase, is throwing in photos that are like mood board photos and like things I want to remember for later. It's like, it might be a year before I do this, so I want to put this image I'm seeing into the script now. It's almost like taking your Pinterest board and marrying it with your script. It's great.
There's two other features that I would love to show you here. So back to my iPad here. So let me close out some of these files. I'm going to show you a feature called Compare Scripts. So here in the shooting draft, I'm going to perform transfer, select my table draft. And this time I'm going to tap the Compare Scripts button. And what I'm going to do is just select one random layer. So it's going to perform a note transfer, which I told it not to select anything, so that's fine. But what it's doing right now is it's creating a new file that is going to compare the new draft to the old draft. And this is the report that it is going to generate. And it basically tells you what your new text is, what your old text is, and it goes through on a scene by scene basis. And if you ever receive a file and you just want a quick summary of everything that's changed between the draft, this is a really useful tool to achieve that. The only other pro feature that I did not show you guys is the sides creator. So up here in the page maker, so back on the home screen, if you tap the top right, 4 squares, tap sides, it allows you to select your pages that you're going to be using for sides, tap make, you create an entirely new file, and it allows you to move your pages around into shooting order. And then from your new file, you can distribute your sides to your team ready to go within the app. If you wanted your notes to go in those sides, they certainly could. I did the demo without any notes, but that's a really cool feature. Connect this to your email, have a group set up. I mean, you're ready to go in a matter of seconds.
Kayla,
So
our production coordinator, are you listening? Because you need to learn how to do that thing. He just did. That's great. That's great. Kate, really quick, has a question.
Yeah.
Does Scriptation have step-by-step tutorial videos you can watch while working with each feature? As a quick question.
Our YouTube channel, Scriptation, youtube.com/c/Scriptation. We have about a 20 video general sort of introductory tutorial that I think would be a really great place to get started. I will show you on here, youtube.com/c/Scriptation. And you will see that we have a tutorial series of 22 videos, which you can watch in order. And I think that would be a great place to get started. Also, if you have specific questions, you can go to the help desk, which is support.scriptation.com, and we have nearly 200 question and answer, troubleshooting, or tutorial articles to help you get started.
That is awesome. Rico, really appreciate you doing this. Are there any final things you wanted to show them before we part ways with our audience?
Just a few things to be aware of. We have a webinar coming up on April 10th, which is about DPs and cinematographers. So we have Adam Bricker and Byron Werner, Gonzalo Amat, and Jendra Jarnigan are going to be doing a presentation that's really focused on the cinematographer side of Scriptation. So check that out, scriptation.com/Zoom. You can register for that free webinar. And I hear that we also have another Blackmagic Scriptation Clubhouse coming up on 4/9. So check that out as well.
Selma's lucky she's not on behind the scenes, right? Pull her on camera to tell us all about it.
But basically, this is what you need to know. Scriptation is a free download, and you're able to do nearly most of what I showed you today on the free version. And if you want to do the super cool stuff, try the pro version. It is 14 days for free. Academic discount, scriptation.com/education, and give it a shot.
Love it, love it, love it. Well, thank you, Rico. We're so grateful for this time. I'm so glad we got to introduce this app to so many of our fellows and our members. We will let you get out of here, and I will give everybody else stick around for 1 second because I have some announcements I want to let you know about. One of which is today there is a clubhouse where you'll meet the Breakthrough Initiative fellows. So I highly encourage you to go through and see. That's 5 p.m. on Clubhouse. You can find the link on our website, on our socials. It's all over the place. And then Thursday coming up, we have a music supervisors event. So basically, music supervisors for like Netflix and DreamWorks are going to talk about everything from script to screen, how you get their music, how they pick it, how it gets cleared, how they just everything about music supervising, music directing, how it all happens on film and TV. So that's Thursday. And then we have an event every Thursday this month, including our Resolve class. So if you like this class, that's going to be a color class. We're literally going to give you the same video. You're going to work on the same video as our instructor and going to color from basics to some little advanced stuff. So if you've been really curious about doing your own color for films to save yourself a little money when you don't have a colorist, I highly recommend that one. And of course, the big one this month is Crew Up. So DPs, tell all your cinematographer friends to apply for our Crew Up. They're going to get to show their reel. Going to have a 5-minute interview. So all of our audience, all of our members are going to get to meet the cinematographers who are chosen, and well as anybody who has projects coming up. So say you have a project coming up and you need some crew and maybe it's low budget, you can apply to pitch your project if it's filming in the next 3 months, and we will let all of our members know what you're looking for and see if anybody will help you out. Our April newsletter just went out, so if you didn't get it, you better go sign up, blackmagiccollective.com, and you'll get it every month with all this stuff I'm talking about. We'll deliver right to your inbox once a month. And remember to submit your 5-minute list films on Black Magic Collective Film Festival. And of course, thank you again to our sponsor, Blackmagic Design, for making all this happen. Like us on socials, follow us, do all those things we're supposed to do. And with that, have a great day, filmmakers. Enjoy the sunshine.